All right, can you guys hear me good, see me good? Please let me know before we get started. My other headphones are set up with the flaw in our review system I got going on for Friday the 13th. I am in the middle of doing part 5. We just released part 4. Well, this is all over the place, but we just released part 4 for anyone interested. Actually, here's the list of all the movies we got. We got multiple Walking Dead episodes, but Bone Tomahawk, Boondock Saints, and then Friday 1 to 4. This is the brand new one. A ton of good comments on this one. This was a monster edit, yo. I'm talking, I did an extra week editing this just because I didn't trim the script. Usually I try to trim it, take out some over-explaining, and I over-explained some things and added some commentary, some from behind the scenes, and it added a whole new week of editing just for 10 extra minutes. So it came in at 33 minutes. Real fun edit. I had a lot of fun, put in a few jokes, and I love when these highly edited like passion projects, because with The Walking Dead, as soon as you post something or anything that's just a cheap like talking head type video, the likes to dislikes is instant, you know. But with some of these, man, the people who watch that, I think we were hitting last I checked, nothing but likes, not even a single dislike. We're probably gonna get one now, but there's a number of videos that are like that. I remember one of these, I gotta go back and look, did so well. We hit like 600 likes before we got a single dislike. It was like my record for the channel, because that's rare on YouTube. Somebody would just click dislike just to do it because there's no one else doing it, you know. Anyway, it won't be that first. Let me see. Let me pop out this chat. You guys let me know if you can hear me good, see me good. If you didn't hear me say that last time, there's also and again, it's Friday part 4. Please watch 1 to 4. If you're new here, that'll help out the algorithm a lot. I got a link for the straw poll in the comment box down here, the live comment box. What the fuck did I just do? The live comment box, bam. And we also have it in the video description. Go ahead and vote. Now, I'm getting a little mixed up because AMC is releasing next week's episode is already released last night. Well, it's early Sunday morning. I think it's at midnight on Sunday. So, I already watched that one today instead of the DARYL. The DARYL one I watched last week, but I scrolled through it just to do a little, I don't know, just to refresh my memory. And like the thumbnail, I'm kind of in the same boat where this was just a blah episode where we're doing the claimers again, and the religious villains, I just don't find them interesting. I made a joke with something recently where Hollywood has this thing where rednecks are always like bumbling idiots, weird, backwards people, which is really ironic because it's really ironic when you look at just people's hypocrisy instead of just being open and honest and being like, yeah, you know what, like groups of people are more blended than simply being all idiots. That we did that with Native Americans. They're all savages, you know. It's the same principle when you think about it. You know, everyone who lives out there is all just dumb rednecks. They're backwards people. People are just stupid. We don't realize we're acting the same way we did 500 years ago, but we don't realize that you know, we're doing it or something. Anyhow, we get that with Hollywood with the religious villains. I just don't find it interesting, and we get that here. The Pope guy is talking about how they survived some mission, and I don't know, I just don't care, but they survived. He's talking about how it was a miracle and they were blessed by God. You guys can fill in the blanks because I just don't give a shit when it comes to religious villains. But when he's talking about this, how they linked up because they survived, you know, God was watching out for them. They're literally carrying in dead body bags of his comrades. It's like, okay, it's like, whoa. And then later in the movie, in the episode, I'm gonna show you a scene that threw me off in the beginning. There's some cool stuff, but this episode, I'm looking forward to talk about next week a little more, just because I thought that was okay, but I did enjoy, I think, a little more than everything else. I feel like next week should have been episode 2 for season 11. Get moving already with this shit, you know? Especially the Commonwealth stuff. Get in there, get moving, get the story flowing. I'll be curious to see when it's all said and done why it took so long and what was so needed in this beginning half to really warrant this whole delay, let's say. Anyhow, halfway through this episode, spoiler alert, they run into Leah from the bonus that was like Daryl's like girlfriend or whatever. And first off, she looks a bit different. She looked real different. At first I was like, well, that's Leah, but did they recast her? She looks really different. And I think it's just the hair. They gave her like a Carol makeover where she's got more gray hair now. Or at least it looks that way. Maybe it's the lighting and a ponytail, a little bit gray. And then it left me confused about the timeline. I'm like, wait a minute. When was that now? Yeah, it was when he was looking for Rick, and then we had the time jump, so it's been at least a few years, right? 5 years. Now I'm lost. I don't know, because they're bouncing around. So, to be honest, you guys let me know when the timeline is, year-wise, but it feels like she aged 10 years. I'm not really sure on that one, but this is how she looked before. Now she's got the, gray hair and ponytailed up. And I guess she just met these people. I got the impression this was her family before the apocalypse, but apparently she just met them recently. Like once she left Daryl, she ran into them, so she's been with them a few years. Miss me with all that bullshit. And then she says she's crying because her brother in this cult got killed. And Daryl, unlike a normal human being, he says something else which was not bad dialogue, but a normal human being would have been like, listen, I'm sorry you lost someone you love, but he wasn't just walking down the street and someone clubbed him, see, he wasn't minding his own business, dropped the soap and someone took that ass. Like, this motherfucker attacked an innocent group in the street, killed 2 people right away, and then he died. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of dialogue and that type of character work and character development leaves me really wanting to just walk away. Just put it on pause, because it's so unbelievably stupid how if I'm in that situation where, or anything similar logically, where somebody does something to cause their own death, attacks innocent people, and then gets killed, I understand, like, family members are going to still feel pain, absolutely, but you're going to be in some strength at a certain point. You're going to be like, ooh, okay, well, let's not forget. I mean, if he didn't do what he did, he'd still be alive. And what are we doing here? All right, so in the very beginning, we get this separation that... This is what I'm seeing more and more from The Walking Dead that's really dragging me down is and we talked about it last week, it's the off-camera, what did we call it? Well, it's like where if it's not in camera, it's not a concern, right? I think that's a better way to put it. So Dog is biting this guy's leg because Daryl's getting beat up. And the guy throws Dog. Maybe he stabs him. No, it doesn't matter. Dog survives, but he throws Dog. Dog whimpers, but he throws him, and there's like this little hill. And after this point, Dog and Daryl are going to get separated. I'm sorry, my brain can't just, I don't know. I'm sorry to bring it up like, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I don't want to make it like a smart and stupid thing. It's not. It's just I don't know. Your brain, how do you make that right in your head? You're watching this, Dog gets thrown to the side. Fucking Dog is still there. He didn't go into a magic portal. He got thrown down a little hill. Maybe Dog ran away. All right, fine. Off camera, not a concern. Maybe Dog got thrown away. Whatever. But then this happens. Daryl gets mad. He's all like, no. Dog's whimpering. Leah shows up in the mask, and the Reapers all show up. And Daryl gets up, and he's all pissed. She stops him. I guess she recognizes, oh, man, this is Daryl. So he pulls the knife up. He's going to throw the knife. Guys, they're in woods. It's not thick woods, They're in a wooded area. They can see apparently just fine for what they're doing. and he's gonna chuck a knife and pull a Maggie, and this bitch like instructs her people to go follow him, but in ways where you would imagine they're lost in a building. She's like, you go down that hall, you go down this hall, and it's like, you are in the woods, out in the open. You shouldn't even have to wave. Just go get him. You know what I mean? He's in front of you. Dog is in front of you. Somehow, all these idiots get split up. So he goes and throws the knife. And he pulls a Maggie. They don't even bother putting it in slow-mo this time. And he just runs away. And look at her. She's like, you go this way. And you go that way. You guys are out in the fucking open in the woods. Look at her from behind. This is where they are. They're in the woods. It's a little tinted because of the app, but they're out in the woods. Daryl ran this way. Dog fell down the hill that way. Dog is still fucking there. I give it to the dog. Maybe he ran away. But Daryl is this way. First off, why that guy? Did he not go this way? It doesn't matter. These scenes are killing me. This is stupid as shit. And then they get separated. And this is where it's frustrating because just capture him there. You're going to capture him. Why have this really dumb scene? Oh, I know why. So you can... Wait, yeah, why do that? Because you could just have Daryl run into Leia, whatever. You can have Daryl run into her right there. Why are we doing this whole hide-in bullshit because you need it to be daytime? I don't know. Just this little filler moment that was poorly done. So she reveals herself, and then they cut to the title screen, and it leaves me wondering, well, did Daryl just give up? I mean, it feels kind of stupid that he would just give up knowing how violent these people are, but I guess he just gave up because when they come back, he's all, Daryl has been claimed. He's been taken again, and he's going to be locked into a room, and it's something I feel like the viewer has to know, because if they beat the piss out of him, maybe he's going to look at this chick a little different. I would. I mean, as a character, I would look at her like, I don't know about all this. But if they cut to commercial break and he's conveniently just like chained up, then you don't really have to. I mean, I don't know. What did he give up? Because if he gave up, that feels kind of stupid and weak on Daryl's part. But if they beat him down and then tied him up, then it looks even worse on her part. So my argument is when they get to a difficult moment where no matter what you choose, it's going to be a little tricky, the writers just cut to commercial or the credits scene, and then they forget about it. Like it never happened. This froze, so I don't know. For me, you guys are going to have to let me know what it's been like for you. AMC Plus's app for me has been dog shit. I mean, absolutely dog shit. Every 10 minutes it'll crash, never come back on. You're witnessing it right here. No other app gives me problems, so it's not randomly my internet. I'm streaming now, hopefully, with no problems, if you guys can let me know. There's no problems, right? But AMC's app ain't doing shit. So, all right, we're done with the footage. I guess AMC's on to me. They're like, shut his footage down. Anyhow, the YOLO donkey, let's get out of this. Whenever it comes back on. Okay, so the page is no longer there. It doesn't matter. I mean, oh shit, that's probably not good. Some of you probably haven't seen that yet, but if you haven't, I mean, AMC raised the prices. In my opinion, it's not even close to being worth it. It's like $10 a month for AMC Plus, and their app sucks ass. And the only thing to watch is The Walking Dead. I haven't found anything else that they got going on. That's good. So yeah, Daryl gets separated. He runs into Leah. It's going to do it again. It's going to fucking do it again. Here we go. The YOLO donkey coming in with a $10 dono. Thank you very much for the support, homie. I am the only one tired with the villains kill one of his own. Oh, I didn't get to that yet. Yeah, to show how he or she is evil trope. I thought we were done with that trope, to be honest. B, the Pope never said why they just go around killing people for no reason. Big what the fuck for me. That whole villain killing his own people trope is from the 80s and 90s that by the late 90s was a cliche that should have never been resurrected, ever. Yet we're still doing it, you know? They skipped, let's say late 90s. Let's say from 2000 on. They were like 20 years later, After we knew, 20 years we knew in this in the entertainment industry, never have your villain kill his own people unless it's like very warranted in a specific way. Nope, they did it as tropey as possible.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Yeah, so they cut to that, and Daryl's been claimed. She wants that ass. They waterboard him. And then this is where we get to the more tropey cliche stuff where the person that, I swear, for TV shows, they do the same story over and over in a lot of different shows. Even Lost, I loved Lost. They did this shit where it was like somebody you thought was a villain. They were trying to get, oh no, they're not as bad as you think they are. And then we see it from their perspective. And then you grow to like them. Same thing for like the villain becoming like going through the redemption arc. We've got and all the shit before, and so many other TV shows have done it better. Her whole situation, I don't care, but you can see what they're doing. They're trying to do this with connecting Daryl to this guy, and later they're going to try to bring Daryl on board and then have Daryl kill or to prove himself or torture the guy. And I thought, yeah, maybe that's too predictable. In the trailer for 2 episodes from now, they show Daryl doing that, and it's like, well, I guess maybe it's not too predictable. Anyway, not for them. So anyhow, so he's locked up, and they do a clever thing where it's like, I don't even know you, and they're on to each other, and I like that. I was like, all right, a little bit I like. I dig it. They feel like a smaller group now that aren't as dangerous, and this is another problem with TV shows doing like the really dangerous group, and then when you see them, it's like 10 assholes in the woods. It's like, ooh, so dangerous. I get it, they're dangerous, but it's just so underwhelming when you see them in a circle, and there's like 10 or 15 of them, and it's like, oh, that's it? Well, I don't know. So, I guess this is it. Just a bunch of back and forth. We see Pope. He does his explanation stuff. Again, it's a mix of religion with mercenary stuff. They reveal she was a mercenary. I didn't remember that if they didn't show it from the bonus episodes. It didn't feel like it fit the character, but oh well. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. I could be totally wrong on all of that not being in the bonus stuff. It might have been. But for me, I just didn't get the vibes from the character, but that's what we got. Here's the really stupid scene where she shows up all sad about her brother.
What happened to you?
It's
the good and the bad.
I don't know what
Ever done things?
I don't know how long it
Doesn't
was.
matter. We went nowhere.
It's longer than I thought. Riveting. The heavy breathing. I love it.
Doesn't matter. We wouldn't have worked anyway.
Oh, all right. That seems way too long. But that's the one I was talking about, where she shows
Not in a world
up,
like this.
and she was like, "My brother's dead." I don't care about Poe. You guys watched it. They trick her, lock her in, light it on fire. Daryl saves her first, and then gets himself out there, and Pope sees it. And he's like, "Yeah, you're one of us." Talks to him, blah 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 blah, and then that's it. Oh, here's the big trophy at the ending. He's like, and forgive me if I'm wrong here. You guys can correct me down below if you want, but this scene plays out like this. First off, it looks like Terminus. It looks like every other fucking place we've been to in this show. Even how it's filmed, the angle, it looks like they're trying to throw it in our face. Is this Terminus, or is this another building that we've seen in maybe during the governor's time, something? Because it looks so familiar, it's not even funny. Anyhow, so they're around this campfire, and he's like, "Yeah, so you got away and you saved your brother, but he died, when he was trying to save him." He's like, "So if that was true, how did you get the marks on your back?" And then it's like, dun dun dun, the bitch was running away. And for a moment there, I thought about it, and I visualized it kind of, because I was trying to remember if this guy was the guy that was fighting with Maggie and Negan. I mean, wouldn't that make sense? The dead body disappeared, somebody who's fighting with Maggie and Maggie and Negan. Wouldn't that make sense? And I'm going to go back and look. Maybe we'll do that together. So long story short, he sees marks on his back, and he's like, it must have been because you were running away like a little bitch. And my brain said this, well, what if he was fighting somebody? Like full on fucking going at it. And then another soldier, enemy, whatever you call them, another one of Daryl's guys, I don't know, stabbed him in the back or threw something, like broke a fucking window pane on him in his back. Blew him up. I don't know. Like, what if he got attacked from the back, but while he was fighting? Just because you have marks or you have a wound on your back doesn't always mean you were running away. Not at all. If you're in a fight, someone comes up behind and they stab you, your wound isn't going to show that you were running away. Your wound is going to show that someone stabbed you in the back. I mean, so the logic here is flawed, I felt, because he could have been a pussy, absolutely. But he also could have legitimately been killing the enemy, and someone snuck up behind him and attacked him and wounded his back. Anyhow, so the big bad guy has to show how big and bad he is. He watched too many 80s action flicks, and he throws the guy in the fire and burns him, which is cool visually. It's like, oh, a guy getting burned. Look at him. Oh, that's vicious and badass. But, yeah, that's a big nope for me. What episode was that? Hunted, right? Let's go look. Because in this episode, the guy brought a wounded guy with him. So let's go to Hunted. No? Let's do this, bro. You're not going to fucking play it even though it was... Thank you. Jeez. I can't stand that. Whoever designs these websites... Yes, people want to replay a show. So, God forbid... you let them. Yeah, see? She throws it in his back. And he's fighting. Was he fighting Alden? Is this the same fucking guy? Tell me this is the same guy. Tell me, because that means now that Pope just killed his guy for nothing. You know? Watch, he throws a flashbang. And here we go. Explodes. Son of a bitch. Now it's going to bother me. I'm going to the chat. I want to see if you guys know if that was the same guy or not. The YOLO Donkey coming in with another 5. I don't think the writers know this is the last season because these episodes aren't building to any big finale. This could easily be inserted to like season 5. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Now, there's a part of me, the cynical side of me says by the time we get to the end of it, this is going to be all there is. They fight these guys, and they're just some random-ass villains on the road showing like how dangerous it is, adding to the argument that it's good to just move to Commonwealth. On the flip side, it's not interesting. All right, not for a final season. Dude died in like 10 seconds from the fire. I'm not really sure how long it would take someone to die. I know it's got to be recorded in history because we burnt witches and shit, right? Well, not we, but, you know, humans. And I do know that just from, I don't even know what it would be from, like crime documentaries and stuff. You actually burn through the heat searing your throat before the fire and whatever, or the smoke inhalation just takes you out. And smoke inhalation is not a game. I know we had a fire a little while back. Luckily, it was just cosmetic on the chimney, and we put out the fire. Me and my uncle put out the fire in the chimney place, but the top of the chimney was all lit up. And when we got the animals out, I came around to the front to see how he was doing with other shit. And as soon as I opened the door, it was like a smoke, you know? And that hurt. And it was tiny. You know, it was like, because there was a ton of smoke filling into the house. But you get a whole big fire, and that shit's going to be like, woof. And if it knocks you down, you'll burn up. But anyway, What kind of name is Frost? I don't know, but he should have called it. He should have been called Jack. Jack Frost. Being a mercenary is random. It was, wasn't it? Felt random as fuck. They're recycling, plain and simple. Yo, doesn't it feel like the claimers? That's why I put that in the thumbnail. Daryl got claimed. Because we've done this. Daryl gets separated, right? Except for before it was, to be honest, it was more extensive. And it had more of a punch. I actually rewatched season 4. I know season 4 gets a lot of shit, but season 4 impressed me with a rewatch. There's a lot more there that I liked that I just underrated when I first seen it. Even some of the early stuff with the flu, I don't know. There was a lot more there. But anyhow, so Daryl gets separated both back then and now, links up with this group both back then and now, goes through a trial period, so to speak, and gets the same type of conflict where one person in the group is kind of, rooting for them, vouching for them, giving them props, and that would be the leader of the claimers versus blah, blah, blah. What was it, Joe? Excuse me. Like back then and now. And then we have him passing the test like back then and now. And being accepted by the group, small period of time. And now he has to prove himself, and that's where we got to the claimer's point where he was like, oh, no, bro, and he fucked all that up in a good way because it ended up pretty cool. I think Daryl should have done something a little different about it, though, and he should have been like, wait, hold the fuck on, man. I know these assholes. They robbed me on yada, yada, yada. I want to, let me shoot him in his dick, and then load up crossbow. Everyone would be like, oh, shit, look at this, and then Daryl just starts shooting crossbows at Joe, or whatever his name was, and got it in. But it doesn't matter. I mean, that would have been cool, but I like how it played out the way it is. Anyway, so now we're at that with Daryl here. Next episode, not the next episode, but the next episode, he's in with these people. They're going to push him to the test, put him to the test. Shudder is pretty good. The new VHS 4, damn, they got 4 of them now from the anthology series, is coming out next month, plus the Creep Show series by Greg Nicotero. Is only good thing about having AMC Plus. Oh, AMC Plus, you're saying. I'm so happy to join. Lead him. Yeah, she's just, I guess so. Random, but Daryl say, I've never begged and I'm not going to start now in the cell. Did Daryl say to her, I've never begged and I'm not going to start now? That sounds like something he said. He did say something. No, I've never lied. And I've never lied to you, and that's not something I'm going to start now. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Maybe it's the same set, kind of like how the hospital where Beth died was reused when Beta brought in the Whisperer Horde. See, some of that, I'm pretty sure I did spot the hospital one, but some of it is fine. But let's look at Terminus with Walking Dead Terminus. Did I spell that right? Oh my god. Oh, Walking Dead. Walking Dead did dumb did it. Dumb dare did it. See, no, the windows here are definitely different. There's something. It might have been with the governor in the storyline, but those arches, if you noticed, it had like certain arches on the windows. Remember when Maggie and them got separated and they were headed to Terminus and they stopped off at that little rundown set of buildings? That looked like it too. Walking Dead, Maggie searching for Glenn. I'm trying to see if they would show, because Maggie, Sasha. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm sure somebody, Eagle Eye Walking Dead fan, will be able to. Sasha. What did I do? Sasha. Bob. Sometimes a quick search like this will put you in the right spot because they were on the road together. But I guess not. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That set was reused. It just has a look to it. But you guys let me know if you spot where it was actually taken from. I think I like longer hair Maggie better. She had a good run with the short hair, but I think I like this type of shorter. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. She's smoking. She's smoking that genetics, yo. Anyway, Jack Frost sounds better. Because the Carol and Daryl spinoff is probably going to be AMC Plus only. Does that mean they will show nudity, sex, and say F-bombs because they aren't on cable anymore? I'm not convinced it's going to be AMC Plus only. Was that announced? Wait, did I? Yeah, I'm not convinced it'll be AMC Plus only. Maybe a timed exclusive. I believe they'll eventually pop it on. But here's the thing. If they pop it on after, if it goes to AMC Plus first, even a timed exclusive, if they're not cheap bastards, which we know they are, they can re-edit one that's proper for TV. So yeah, in theory, they can put it up there with, an R rating, and sell it on Blu-ray with R rating. Did streaming anywhere deals, yada yada yada, with that R rating, and just edit it for TV. I don't think they're gonna do that. It'd be nice. I think it would help. Was Leah's brother that she was crying about was the one that Gabriel killed in episode 3? I'm assuming it's one of those that was out there. Yeah, I'm assuming. No. I think it was somebody that had their body brought back, because didn't she say something about them bringing the body back, or am I thinking of someone else? Leah was with the group before the fall. They were soldiers turned mercs. Then they got separated. I don't know if I even like that. Well, I guess she would have to be, right? Because she did say she was a merc. So I don't. Yeah, I guess it would have to be that. But now it leaves me wondering. It's The Walking Dead. You got separated and you found each other. According to the show, everyone finds each other. Without spoilers, what are your thoughts on the next episode? I thought it was just okay, without spoilers. I will say, and this is not really a spoiler, we did talk about how they're really making it seem like they put a fake Stephanie in with Eugene. And next episode, you don't even have to keep an eye out, because they rub it in your face. They basically come out and say, like, that's the real Stephanie, in the most retarded way possible. I mean, it is so fucking stupid that I just had my jaw was kind of like, well, maybe it's not supposed to be like a secret if they're so open about it. I mean, they quite literally say, like, it's no words. It's just kind of like, unless you're not paying attention, then you'll miss it completely. But it's like a good 10-second scene where it's like. So now I'm even more, because we have a fake Stephanie to add on to the bullshit. Instead of Stephanie's a character that's going to finish out the series in a big way if they continue like the comic with Eugene. So to bring in a fake Stephanie to eat up screen time for, even if it's just one episode or 2 episodes, right now it looks like it'll be at least 1.5 to 2 episodes, plus that sliver from the last episode. When you're doing that, now you're just wasting time. It's the final season. We ain't got all day here. YOLO Donkey with another 10. Hey, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it tonight. Thank you for this, and also for those of you who supported, I'll get to your comment real quick, but the Friday Flaw and All Part 4, you guys crushed it. Had a really good reception to the first release of this Flaw and All. For anyone new who just joined, these are reviews that are highly detailed and polished, and it's a way to count everything that's good and count everything that's bad and give a complete score. Our scoring system is 0 is just for, no effort, low effort, okay. If something is just okay. So -0 is where the bad stuff lies. Positive up is where we get at least some good stuff out of it. But we did all 4 the first 4 Friday the 13th. We have Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, The Joker, Krampus, Train to Busan, Bone Tomahawk, and Boondock Saints, and we're going to be coming out with Friday Part 5 very soon. But the reception to 4 was like 10 times what the reception to 3 was, so I'm convinced something goofy was going on with YouTube and their analytics, because I'm telling you, it took like a week, for Part 3 to crack 1,000 views, which does not happen. However, we hit 1,000 views immediately with Part 4, so that is awesome. And a bunch of positive comments. Back to YOLO Donkey. With no Rick death, I feel like the show ends with the time skip with our less interesting characters, or they all die via horde at Commonwealth. Both are trash, but what would you prefer? Well, I don't want them to die by a horde at Commonwealth. That would just be really... you'd have to hate the fans to do that. You'd have to be hired, and you actually hate the fans, and you do that because you just wasted 10 years of our lives. Give us some type of conclusion, and we know they want to keep going, but there's a way to do it. And I've talked about this repeatedly, and I still agree the same way to do it is and the time skip will probably be something that is interesting but not necessary. But due to time skip, show Maggie as president, Yumiko as the lawyer, and they've taken over and they're running the Commonwealth, and it is awesome. But there's still issues, but they're doing it, and show that the kids are coming up, and there's hint at stories there, and then you end it out. And I'm not going to get into all the details because, come on, that'll take forever. But you end it out, and then from there you can actually have the spin-offs and just link it to the Commonwealth without screwing up with the time, retconning anything. And there you go. You're done. You have the main show ended, and you can do as many spin-offs as you want with connective tissue. And you can even revisit the Commonwealth as a cameo in some of the episodes. It's the one way it would work great, I feel. And again, thank you very much for the support. I'm putting the straw poll in the chat. We're going to check to see what you guys have to say. I'm putting it back in the chat. That's the vote here on this episode. We'll check that in a second. Rick comes back and they all live happily ever after. So the governor drowns people and throws them in the screamer pits. Negan throws Doc Carson into the fire when Sherry runs away. And now Pope throws this guy into the fire. Boring. Yeah. The only parts of the episode I genuinely liked were the Pope was talking. The guy playing him seems like a decent enough actor. I give it to the actor. I think the actor was doing a good job. He's got a charisma about him. I have zero shits or cares for any of these, the religious villains. Sometimes people can make it work and it's interesting, but 9 times out of 10, I just don't care. HFG with a $5 dono. Love your channel, Ronnie. Can't wait to check out your Train to Busan vid. Also looking forward to hate reviewing next week's Walking Dead episode. Actually, next week, it shouldn't be bad. It really shouldn't, because it's probably the one I like the most. I thought some of them at first viewing seemed more interesting, but when I really sat back and was like, well, what did I get from that? What did we get story-wise from that? There was more action in the first 2 episodes than there is in the episode coming up. Let me double check. Yeah, there was more action. There's some stuff popping off, but it's kind of like it's not as action packed, but there's some intense stuff. There's actually something really sweet with both with Judith in next week's episode that I thought was real sweet. Everyone being gone kind of takes away from it, though. Like, Rick is gone, not dead gone. If they were dead gone, in all honesty, the scene would have even been a little more heartbreaking. But because it was literally actors didn't want to work anymore, so they're gone. So now we have Michonne being gone on top of it. It's just not as strong as it could be. But next week's episode shouldn't be too bad. The actress playing Lucille is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife. So that makes sense. It's called True Crime Story. Then the show's not real Stephanie. They should add a wink sound. Yeah. The scene confused me, and I don't think the endgame reveal will excite me. Honest, guys, I don't see how it would be hard for groups to find each other again after being separated, considering there's not many people left, but that's just me. Well, low-key, no pressure. I will put this challenge up to you. And this is how I first noticed, like, you know what? That's not going to be that fucking easy. I forget what I was doing. I was out doing something. And imagine, we had to walk somewhere, but imagine, pick anywhere you're at, any location you're at. Now imagine, currently we have GPS, we have a whole bunch of other shit. Picture an area you don't know, an hour away, 2 hours away, 3 hours away. Imagine driving to that location. And again, technology is gone. Go to that location, get out in that location, and now walk home. And I shit you not, when you physically try to do it, unless you're into certain things, survivalist stuff, you're going to be having a hard time right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't know anything about north, west, south, east, and you know what I'm saying? Like, right from the rip, it's going to be like, oh, fuck, you know? Now, picture that in the world of The Walking Dead and how big it is. Yes, I do agree. If you're in the same town, you'll run into each other. There's not that many people around. But some of these people are getting separated in, 2 towns over, different locations across the fucking United States. No, bro, no. I don't buy that Morgan and Dwight went across the United States out of all the possible areas you can go, and they run into each other. I don't care how few people are out there. I just don't care, because that is insanity. But again, if you're cool with it, that's fine. But if it's a smaller area, I'm not really critical of smaller locations. That's fine. My renewal is coming up for AMC Plus this month, and I'm not renewing it. I can't even bother watching the episodes a week early anymore. This shit's dragging the soul out of me. Well, I tell you what, I am canceling mine. I'm not paying. Before it was $5. That ain't nothing. I'm not paying $10, and especially when their website is dog shit. Absolute trash. Crashes all the time. Go and look at the reviews on when you go to download it. Everyone has that problem. Ronnie, have you seen Malignant? The one batshit crazy slasher movie? I heard people say it was nuts, but I didn't hear all good things. I heard a mix, of, yeah, it was just fucking nuts, but it's worth a watch. Really makes no sense why he would kill his own after finding out that they're outnumbered. On not only that, but I'm pretty sure we just discovered the guy he killed was actively fighting the enemy when he was stabbed in the back, which makes Pope, again, the first thing I thought of, and I'm not even that smart of a guy, but I got some common sense. The first thing that popped into my mind, what if he was attacked from the back? It doesn't mean he's running away. He's fighting somebody, and another guy attacks him from behind. It happens all the time, all the time in bar fights or whatever. You don't know where you're going to get punched. And it seems like that's what happened. That makes Pope an absolute idiot. And I can't fear or have tension for an absolute dumb ass. Friday part 5 will be funny. Yeah, Friday 5 is going to be an interesting one. I know a lot of fans give it a lot of fans have this reaction to Friday 5. Oh, what is this stupid garbage? And then later they're like, yeah, it's fucking slapstick comedy all of a sudden. So, yeah, characters are ridiculous. It's just dark humor. I'm sorry, but fuck no, fuck out of here. Friday 5 is trash. I mean, it's one of the few, there's only a handful of them that I legitimately think is just trash. There's a couple good moments I like, and I'm gonna highlight those. Even the ridiculous funny stuff because people say like, oh, you got to be with the humor. That's fine. Like the dude gets chopped up, and the dude has a thing about eating chocolate candy bars. So when they lift the sheet up over his dead body, his severed arm still is holding the chocolate candy bar, and it's like on his back. Like literally the whole arm is resting on his back. Some of that stuff I get a chuckle. It's ridiculous, right? Ridiculous, campy. So I get a chuckle and I let it slide. But they have these really poorly done rednecks, and they're like hooting and hollering and like eating food. Like, you ever see people where they play a redneck, or even like the guy eating his chocolate bar? They'll just get chocolate and they'll be like, yeah, because that's how I eat. It's like, what? Instead of being a little more authentic, where maybe they kind of powder on some and then you kind of see it, or even with his hands, he gets chocolate on, instead of just doing it so it's not, it's like it's on his hands. No, it's on his fucking elbow. Chocolate's on like his ass. It's so ridiculously done, and the rednecks are done that way. I can't fuck with Friday 5. I think it's one of the worst. Right now, I think it out of 1 to 5, it's the worst. Not only is the villain killing his own guy a cliche, but they couldn't even make it out of nowhere the way it was filmed. You saw it coming 2 miles away. I love the Pope idea, but it's the same formula. Villain wins at first, the hero turns it around and prevails. Yeah, pretty much. They got the Terminus set reused in this episode, or next they reused the school from the Tainted Meat scene. Not saying our survivors should be wiped out or lose, but it's the same story. In my opinion, World Beyond should be 3 seasons since there's 3 rings. I don't agree with that, but I see what you're saying. But I mean, I would agree with that if each season focused on that community. But we already know one of the communities already destroyed, so it doesn't make sense. So technically, there's 3 rings, but there's only 2 communities now. So I mean, that one 10,000 strong was a whole community, right? Anyway, I feel like Pope could end up Beta's killing the comics. Pope could end up. I think he might kill Gabriel. Makes sense. Gabriel's becoming more unhinged, and they're both religious. You know what? Gabriel's becoming unhinged in a way where if they do a kill, he didn't die because he was unhinged in the comic. He got scared and fell. And that's not Gabriel now. Not even close. So they couldn't do an exact recopy of his death. They would have to have him fall some other way. But honestly, if they were going to have him die and they're already making him unhinged, he would most likely take Dwight's, and I'm against it, but Gabriel will take Dwight's death from the comic, which again, I am against. I think it's stupid, it's predictable, it's forced, it doesn't need to be there, but we'll see. Sometimes I think people forget Rick's group also does terrible things. That's something I liked about the next episode. I don't think, well, yeah, sure, I could say, yeah, I think people do forget on the internet. However, I do feel that there's stuff that we see from a perspective where we understand it. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff that people pointed out, like, oh yeah, see, Rick did this, and it's like killing, that guy who lost his temper and accidentally killed. Obviously, in civilized society, I'm not a lawyer, but the guy would probably get manslaughter or not. He didn't have the intention of killing. He may have intended on killing Rick, so you know what I mean? I think he was mad and flicked the blade, right? So he didn't even try to kill Rick, but still, no, that's right. He pushed him off. Walking Dead did good with that. He pushed him, and because it was long, when he pushed him, he cut his throat. They did real good with that. Now, he didn't intend to do it, so he'd probably go to prison for like 7 to 15 years, let's say, just for argument's sake, and Rick just executed him. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't see that as like the biggest sin. Even as an accident, your temper, you're an asshole, you beat women, I mean, add it all together, your ridiculous behavior killed a person, accident or not. They don't get to live. Their loved ones have to suffer. You shouldn't get to live either. It's just that simple. Done deal. But when it comes to maybe executing all the saviors, that is where I say it's like, it's a gray area. yeah, you know what? They shouldn't be with the saviors because they know one day karma's going to come knocking. And it did. And his name was Rick. And he was fucking majestic. But so we can see the argument there. But again, there's stuff that the group has done that was dark, you know. Even not killing people. Their bullying / takeover of Alexandria was done in a way that was not the cleanest, you know. And they even planned for worse. And again, that was not good. They had, and I think that's the most dangerous, even in real life, especially in real life, when people really believe that they're fighting evil. And that's why we see it in politics all the time, or especially nowadays. They don't say like a difference of opinion anymore. The other party's evil. You know, that's how you do it because, and that's the most dangerous because once you get that mindset that you're fighting evil, you'll now cheat, lie, steal, kill, like whatever, and it's justified. And that brings out the worst in humanity. Some of the worst. So we'll see. To be honest, this season ain't hitting for me. Are we getting that musical yet? Thanks, AP. I think it was announced before COVID, so COVID definitely jammed up a lot of stuff. I don't think we're going to get the musical. I would be shocked if we do. They can't even get us to watch a regular show. I don't understand how a musical would work. But we did get a musical episode, didn't we? Why didn't they cancel World Beyond and use that money and budget for the main show to make it better? Well, the World Beyond money, it doesn't work like that. It's not like, and not in totality. I know some of it, when you break down just the simple black and white, yes, some money from AMC as a company did shift over and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't work like that as far as all of the breakdowns. There's going to be people involved with World Beyond with different money that would not be in The Walking Dead. It would not go. So even if they didn't put the money in World Beyond, that money is not being used on The Walking Dead anyway. So it's not as simple a breakdown. I would, if I had to guess, it's a really small, really small, in a not important enough amount. What's the word I'm looking for? What's your prediction on how DARYL escapes this group? You think it'll be a yawn fest? We have a couple options. He either shoots it out of there, escapes, or for some reason becomes one of them to help his people. I don't even want to predict it because it's so been done with already. I just want it to fucking be over. Like, next episode. But it's going to be a whole episode of DARYL proving himself. That's what the trailer hints at. So, oh my God. The guy Pope killed wasn't running away, but I think that's the point. I think the whole point is to show that Pope is a complete, irrational, unfair nut job. Well, that could be the point, but I think that was a poorly done point because Pope himself said, you're sentenced to die because you were running away. You know what I mean? He straight up said it. So, in a way, if they were showing him to be unhinged because of, like I pointed out, I think for us having the conversation, we're having a conversation, but for the show itself and what it's given to the audience, that conversation should have been made. Like, someone should have been like, Pope, what if he was attacked from behind, you know? And then Pope came off with something, and then it establishes, okay, this guy's irrational, you know? More so than throwing someone into a fucking fire. Just saw a preview scene with Judith on Talking Dead next week. Wasn't paying attention to it till I saw Judith out of the corner of my eye on your live streams are better than Talking Dead. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, Talking Dead is stale. It's something that I love because, you know, as a fan, you want more. But the problem I have, the biggest problem, two big problems I have with the Talking Dead is it doesn't go in deep enough with behind the scenes, you know? It's more like just a... I don't know. It doesn't go in deep enough with the behind the scenes. And the second biggest problem is the ass kissing is fucking insane. Everything's the greatest ever and awesome. They're not real and authentic. And it's not interesting. If it was strictly behind the scenes, that's fine. but it's more like a behind the scenes unofficial review hyping up how awesome everything is. Now, I don't think it should be ever be more negative than positive, but I do agree that at least having 5 or 10% of, okay, well, we're getting some feedback that things are kind of dragging. What can we do? What can we expect to pick things up? Was this something in the writer's room that you guys, or was it as you were filming it, as you were editing it, it was like it's just not working as good or not as, fast paced or yada, yada, yada. I still think you need a bit of that. Because again, if you're always told everything's okay, you're not going to grow. It's good to second guess things, to do a rewrite, to do a polish. That stuff only can help. What if it's revealed that Rick Grimes is the Major General of the CRM and World Beyond? I don't think they're going to do anything like that. If Gabriel ends up getting Dwight's comic death, then who would kill him, Daryl? I'm not even sure. It really depends on what they have going on there. I mean, it would probably make more sense to go and look at the list of the characters. Who would be talking to him? Would it be Maggie because it has to be whoever's going to be approaching Pamela Milton as the leader. So it's either Maggie, it could be Daryl, but Daryl's not like leader type material. How's that going to break down? I don't know. I know you're not reviewing Fear the Walking Dead, but the new season trailer had some dope visuals in it. If you haven't watched it yet, I don't even know if I have looked at the Fear the Walking Dead trailer. I saw some short where they were walking around. Fear Walking Dead trailer. Some short where they were walking around in like oh, come on with this bullshit. Alright, so here's the trailer now. See, this is an awesome visual. Kind of reminds me of the comic, the comic colors, because they had some issues of the comic with like really popping visuals. I shouldn't get anything claimed on this stream, but maybe we will. YOLO Donkey, thank you for the $5 donation. Talking Dead's guests' questions are so scripted, it's cringe. Yeah, some of their questions as well. It's like, oh, God. The visual, too, as far as visuals, okay, person in a gas mask, that's fine. The trailers are usually the best part of the show, to be honest. When it comes to where is this at? Is this where they were? Again, I have issues with how the nukes work and function within the show, but oh well. Wait, is it? Oh, all right. Yeah, so they're literally right where they were when the nuke went off. Again, maybe it does take a while for the radiation to fully blanket out to the area, but I'm assuming that's Morgan and is it Grace? See, this is cool. I love it. As a zombie fan, little sliver moments I'm like, and I know I'm not going to like the story. There's no way these writers make 3 shit seasons and then out of the blue make an amazing season. There's no way. Actually, in the last season, the first few episodes, I was like, oh my God, Fear is amazing. And then somewhere along the line, they couldn't keep it up, and they were like, yeah, a little girl shoots John, and they're going to fight these zombies down instead of luring them out. There's like 10 to 20 zombies. Just lure them away. You do it all the time. There's no rush. You don't have to get anywhere right away. Wait, now why is he taking his mask off? Because aren't we we have the infected look, right? Or maybe they're out there to make sure it's not radiated, and then they're like, oh, it's clean. Just doesn't look it, but it's clean. That's it? So what the fuck is all this?
I'm done listening to you, Morgan. Everyone is. Everyone tried it your way, and look what happened.
Oh, so that was just a little intro? This is cool looking. They got their clothes ripped off, their clothes burned off. That looks cool.
Face the truth, Morgan. You failed.
Yeah, you know what it feels like they're doing? They got rid of Madison. Fans were like, oh my God, but his idea of having Madison become the villain, that was so good that they were like, let's just do that with Strand.
And now, it's my turn. I'm gonna do what you couldn't. I'm gonna rebuild the world. I'm gonna help every...
I don't care. If I hear one more person in the post-apocalyptic talk about rebuilding the world, I'm gonna go fucking nuts. Oh, Karate Kid here is confused. And then Dwight is like, woman, shut up. You're making it harder for us.
I'm gonna help...
Yet again, characters getting snatched and grabbed. And sorry, and we've been down here before. We already fucking been down this road before.
Let down.
They're probably being snatched by Strand's people.
All while you watch from the outside.
You should rebuild the world, Victor. You should help people. But if I hear that is not what you're doing, if I hear that you've hurt anybody that I care about, I swear to God, I will come for you, Victor. And I will do what you tried to do to me on that...
I don't give a fuck. This whole Strand versus Morgan thing, I don't care about. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people have, now that the nuke hit, clearly a lot of people were able to find fucking gas masks because they went to their local store. I mean, our characters were scrounging for anything. They couldn't find anything. Every store they went into was... But now that the nuke hit, everybody's got a gas mask. And it's a good thing, too. Or else we wouldn't have other characters around the area, you know? So it's a good thing.
To me on that submarine.
That was a cool looking visual. What is that? Remind me of the comic where he had the riot gear on. Is that CRM, I guess?
I won't miss.
Well, at least she'll find this place. She'll get through to you.
No, she won't. She won't have anything to do with me after this.
Why are they back down the... Oh. Oh, all right, that's not what... Wasn't that... Never mind. Sorry, that just looked really weird. Oh, she's got her mouth sewn in. Yeah, because isn't that what's his name's MO? Sews their mouth up. So I thought he was dead, though. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Is that a new girl? It didn't look like the old one. It could be the old one. I'm mixing up characters now. All right. It could be. It's a hard angle to tell, but... Dwight's getting manhandled. Look. Hey, please don't hurt me. Oh, God, no. Not my arm. Uncle. Yeah, do not care. Remember when they teased the Morgan versus Rick? This is a little more. I mean, that was like, come on, don't play me for a dumbass. But this is more likely Morgan versus Strand as far as conflict. At this point, though, I just don't care. Did you comment on Pope's accent? I don't know what to think about it yet. Well, see, in America, we are, the melting pot. So we got people from everywhere. I don't mind. People with whatever accent can just show the fuck up. Apocalypse happens, and it is what it is. So for an accent, I didn't even flinch. I mean, I'm fine with it. What actually happened to the budget of The Walking Dead? It went to shit from season 7 onwards. The budget wasn't bad in seasons 4, 5, 6. Well, keep in mind, it is how you use it. But yes, I did get. I'm gonna look into it again. I keep meaning to do that, but I lose interest. But what's out in the public right now, that's public knowledge, is that yes, The Walking Dead had their budget cut in season 2, and then there was something else happen. There was like 3 or 4 things budget wise, and they were not good. That happened. I think it was cut. Something else happened. It did get a bump initially when they went to 16 episodes, I believe, if I remember right. But yeah, somewhere around season 7, they did get another downgrade. And again, I don't know if it's 7, 6, 8, but the last source that I had was 1.8. Was it? I talked about it on the stream. I forget. It could even be lower than that, but let's say between 1.6 and 1.8 million an episode. And to compare that budget to something similar, The Last of Us is starting out with a budget of 10 million per episode. 10 million per episode. The Walking Dead has never had half of that per episode. Their biggest budget, I think, was 3.4 million per episode in season 3, 4, and 5, I think. And then like I said, from 6, 7 and on, I think it went down a little. And then from 7 on, it went down to its current low at 1.6 to 1.8. And again, that's from a source that's solid. Unless I hear anything different officially. I know fans jump on, every time we talk about budget, a fan will jump on to Google and be like, what's Walking Dead's budget? And they'll read some article from 20 fucking years ago, and then they'll be like, nah, man, it's 3 million an episode. And it's like, no, it's not at all. I bet you my life on it. It's not 3 million an episode. Brandon Alexander, $10 donut. Hey, thank you very much, Brandon, for the support. Hey, joined in and saw your Flaw and Awe videos of Friday the 13th, and it was pretty darn good. And episode 4 was pretty meh for me since Daryl was captured and forced to join a group once again. Yeah, I'm not into that. Thank you very much for the support. I'm glad you checked out the Flaw vs. Awe. We originally were... we started out, originally I was going to do something totally different for this channel at first, but then we got into The Walking Dead for a few years, and I love the show, especially since the show is just losing my interest. I want Flaw vs. Awe, the Flaw vs. Awe reviews to be a staple. And even, I know someone just recently commented there, you might be in the chat here, I forget the name, but you're not happy with the Flaw vs. Awe name. And again, the Flaws and Awes is the scoring system. We count the flaws, we count the awes. It keeps it simple. It's the scoring system. And I'm always thinking of a name. I know originally it was going to be Tally, where anything on the television, we tally it up, give it a rank. But I just went with Flaws and Awes because that's the scoring system. If I ever found a better name, and again, I will not do anything that's the good versus bad, pro versus con, what didn't work, what worked and what didn't work. And again, those words specifically, we started with that and it didn't do good at all. But the algorithm does not like Flaw vs. Awe or Flaw and Awe. It doesn't matter because nobody searches Awe. You know what I'm saying? No, people do search flaws, but they don't really search it like that. Fails mainly. We could call it fails and grails, but again, it doesn't make sense in the scheme of things because we're rating and ranking and yada, yada, yada. But you guys let me know if you like it, you don't like it. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with, I'm willing to fix it, but I will only fix it if I get a fire idea for a nice, clean, smooth title that fits and it'll be good for people to use when they're sharing it and, for the algorithm. They gotta market Alicia a little bit, at least. Like, what the fuck? Also, somebody. Well, don't forget, she's supposed to be the mystery of the coming season, so I see why they didn't include her. Also, somebody better be banging on her this season because, come on, I think I'll see what I see. Yeah, some of that shit I don't understand. Somebody would have been, taken that to task by now. Let's be honest, we'll never see a network have a talk show where they talk negatively, even a little bit, about a show that they air. Too afraid of hurting their brand. Sure, I mean, I'll admit to that. We all know that. But there's a difference between talking negatively and doing some addressing fan issues and feedback. There's a big difference. It can be done, but I do agree with you. Networks aren't even going to take the risk, and that adds potentially to the lack of interest in those types of shows. Talking Dead has the most viewer interest when it is bringing on the cast, the crew, the creative team, and when it's staying focused on the behind the scenes and what's going on with them, the story, the series, and yada, yada, yada. Where it gets off track is with ridiculous guests. We don't give a fuck about celebrity guests most of the time. And then the overwhelming positivity. When you have a really shit episode moment choice, fans get annoyed and they just walk away when they hear someone praise the ever-loving fuck out of it. There's a way to do it with tact that says, okay, maybe this missed the mark, but this is what we got and we're still excited for what's coming. There's a way to do it, but Talking Dead doesn't do it like that. They do it like everything is the greatest ever, you know? Let's be honest. I will say the cinematography of this season is great. I've seen episode 5, and when Negan and Maggie are walking through the overgrown, abandoned neighborhood with bird's eye view. Yeah, there's been a couple shots, especially where I talked about the other episode where it was down on the ground and we saw a wide angle viewing lens, and you saw the car, the woods, the trail, and the way it picked it up did good. So some of the cinematography, I will say, gets it. And it's strategic, though. We don't get that nice cinematography the whole time. We get it for, what's a good word? Good way to put it. What's that shot in the money shot? The post-apocalyptic money shot, when they want to show, you know, little bits of post-apocalyptic. When that's the case, they take an actual effort into what would look good and making it the best. But for the rest of the show, it's just kind of there. That's how I see it. If a new show, game, or even comic of The Walking Dead made starting from scratch, what would you like to see? Do you have a certain period of apocalypse, certain new locations in mind? I'm not really sure. This is a kind of idea where I could just spit something out right now, but honestly, if I was to get reinvested into a comic show, game, or whatever about The Walking Dead, I would want some serious thought to go into that. I don't want another comic, though. I'm comicked out of The Walking Dead just because I know in the comic industry they're hiring any asshole just for brownie points at this point. When it comes to a new show, I'm done. I need a break. And a video game, though, I would be all over a Walking Dead video game, but I need it to be outside the box from everything they're doing here. Stop with the solo survivor in the city and yada, yada, yada. Give us something new, clean, and fresh, maybe even something more intimate, or start with the downfall. Have you actually play, the first few days, the beginning of the game is the actual downfall. You don't have the budget to do it in a show, but maybe you can get away with doing it in a comic. The breakdown of society. Have that be a big chunk of the game, and then skip, some months in and pick it up where you can have the post-apocalyptic zombie game that you want. I think that would be good. As far as character-wise, I would really want time to come up with something good, or somebody too, because I don't want it to just be you survive and then you can make friends or make enemies, because that's all they do in The Walking Dead when it comes to games. Do we have Spirit of Halloween stores near you? If so, do you plan to visit one? Yes, I do plan to visit one. There are quite a few Friday 13th Halloween trick-or-treat items. Yeah. I have a rule, though. When it comes close to Christmas, I stop spending as much money as I can, especially when I think it's like around November-ish I usually start. I won't spend a dime on myself just to make sure I get through the holidays and everything is on point. However, my daughter randomly wanted to go for her birthday shopping with her grandmother at Spirit Halloween. So I'm going to go for a ride with them. She's going to do some shopping. I have a Camp Crystal Lake sign from Spirit Halloween that's fucking awesome. So I might pick something up, some Halloween thing. But I love it. I told my daughter already. The day after Halloween, I'm going for their 50% off sales. The show went from Whispers to this punk-ass group with this old man, and why this new group didn't run into the Whispers. Well, they're trying to make it seem like they're close to DC or in DC, near DC, so that's why. It's like, oh, the Whispers, they were here, but they were like over there. What if Jadis defected to the Commonwealth from their contact Eugene over the radio with Stephanie helping her, Daryl, Carol, and Egan? Go to find. Wait, hold on. What the fuck? What if Jadis defected to the Commonwealth? Defected to the Commonwealth from CRM to Commonwealth from their contact Eugene over the radio with Stephanie helping her, Daryl, Carol, and Michonne, Negan. I don't understand what in the world you were trying to say. I get the first sentence. Jadis goes to the Commonwealth. Okay, Jadis is at the Commonwealth, and I guess she tells Eugene, but I don't know what you mean from their contact, period. You guys got to start using fucking periods and shit, bro. Eugene over the radio with Stephanie helping her. Helping who? Helping Jadis? Why would that matter at this point? Daryl, Carol, Michonne, and Negan go to find Rick. I would hate that. I mean, there's just no story there. I mean, again, because we're doing the Commonwealth storyline, it doesn't make sense to do the Commonwealth storyline and then to just stop and then go, oh, let's go find Rick. I've already seen episode 5. It was tons better than this episode. Plus, we've just started seeing it, but I can already tell the show is doing Commonwealth better. I'm a little... I do have to wrap this up. What time is it? Yeah, I do have to wrap this up. But I am a little hesitant on the Commonwealth. Just because you can already tell they're starting to do some iffy things. And again, it's a fine line I have between utilizing real life stuff to make shows and movies more authentic, the way people talk and act and what's going on. But the only problem I have is when it gets tricky is where... and it's heavily with political beliefs. People don't do that well with subtlety. People tend to go over the top like a friggin' drug addict. Like they're drugged out of their mind and they're like, I gotta cram my beliefs into this. And we did see a little peek of that with, and I'm hoping that's the end of it and then we can do something that's good. But in the coming episode, they try to do some like immigration type thing. And it came off as ridiculous because there's something happens and it's made to be like, oh, you're not a citizen, so, you don't get as much rights as us. And they do it in an overhanded way where it's like, well, yeah, dumbass, you don't fucking know you. They don't know anything about you. They don't know at all. Of course, you're going to be on a more restricted and tighter rope. This other person was working for this community, got people that they care about in this community, have a family, friends. They've earned their place in this community. They've done stuff for this community. From a logical perspective, you could be a threat to the community, but if we were all just like, fucking everybody's awesome and we love the world morons and accepted you and just let you off the hook, we'd be fucking done in a week. It's just, this shit is retarded. So I hope they calm it down and they do something better with the Commonwealth. And I'm game for the Commonwealth being run improperly. And that helps usher in new leadership, which is our group. Because, again, we need our group to take over as leaders. We don't need it because a clever writer can do a story where Pamela Milton and them is still running the show, but our group adds a value and we can see their life in this community. They don't have to be the leader. They don't have to be in charge. But I think they're going to go that route. I wish they did the comic adaptation of Rick's brother or even any storyline in a European country. I believe the comic story was called The Alien. Yeah, it was called The Alien. They didn't do much with it, though. It was just like, a dude running away and then, he gets bit and he dies and that's it. They did a little twisteroo with the end where they made it seem like the girl was the one getting bit or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I read it. But again, it was a short comic. Wasn't much there. But if you just want it filmed in a European country, I get it. It would be different, you know, because the countries have their differences. I'm game with, you know, getting a different view in a lot of different places. It just depends if the story's good. Random question. Oh, did I skip these? Matt presents, does it slap or is it whack? Yeah. Slap. Does it slap or is it whack? Slaps or whack? I have no problem with flaws or ahs. Just throw it out there. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to do the slap or whack. Slaps or whack. Just doesn't roll off the tongue good. But I see what you're saying. Appreciate the help. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, if the thing is a map cinema score. So the thing is a cinema score. That's the ranking title. So one of the original ideas was just to call it a cinema score. But I thought it was too close to Cinema Sins, and I didn't want to do that. So our whole purpose is to score them, it's to rate them and rank them, and to give it our own unique map cinema score. And you use the flaws and ahs as a way to calculate those scores. So I'm fine with having have it being flaws and ahs, flaws versus all review. I say that because it's flaw versus all review, because versus tends to get picked up in the algorithm a little more for some reason than flaw and all, you know. So it's now flaw versus all review, just because that little versus kind of, I don't know, gets a little bit of more of a punch to it, and that's algorithm wise. But I'm also fine with cinema score. I don't care, but I don't want people to be like, oh, cinema score, oh, that's probably a generic Cinema Sins, when it's totally different from Cinema Sins. Outside of just tallying a number, I mean, we actually have like a specific way to count, you know, to give the points. Cinema Sins isn't. It's literally random numbers. It's literally 1, 5, 10, 20. Like there's nothing about it that is even with. You can't take one movie and say this movie had 200 sins and this movie had 500 sins, because they just throw out random numbers in the middle of their video, because it's all a joke. Random question, but don't you think that show Ezekiel is better than comic Ezekiel? Yeah, I do. I think he's a better character in the show. He's very likable. Yeah, I do, definitely. The Walking Dead needs someone like you to tell them like it is and what they're doing wrong. You'd be a great advisor or director. Well, I think a director, I don't think it matters, because the director on the TV show just does what's already written and set up for them. So if you believed I would be able to, you know, put the camera in good and direct the actors, then sure. But when it comes to an advisor, I think the community as a whole, us all, would be good as a whole to at least show why their ratings have dropped and what they can make corrections with. One, if they made a list in the thing, any storyline that repeats, we're not doing it. And then someone would raise their hand and say, the Reapers are just like the Claimers. Okay, we're not doing it. And then who knows? We could have gotten something much better out of this, especially when it comes to the story structure. When you focus on, like, I think the next episode is Connie only. Not next week, but the week after that. My next episode, if you're watching on TV, it's going to be 2 weeks from now. I don't fucking care about a Connie only episode. It might not be, because we might see a little peek at other people, but it better be blended. That's another thing. It's probably budget reasons why they do it solely, but it would be nice if they would find a way to have it more blended each week. And again, they have me. They don't need me right there. They have me. They have us. They can just play the video. They can read the comments. If you're in the entertainment industry, you've never had it easier. Technology's better. Technology's cheaper. And the fan feedback is all fucking over the place. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy the Flaw vs. All review so much, is because if you're in film school and you come out of film school and you're dying to make, part of the gimmick is I want it to be entertaining for movie fanatics, but I also want it to be like a little movie school that drops all the technical crap from school and focuses straight on the fan stuff. And for a majority of it, you're going to be able to go in there and skim through some comments, and you'll see a lot of people being like, everything agreed. No, this I was cool with, this I liked, but you didn't mention, blah, blah, blah. You have a whole shit ton of information. You want to know about slashers? Well, what made a good slasher? What made you interested? What made us interested? What piqued our interest? And then you can put the series on. Watch all the Fridays. Scream. We're going to be doing Halloween. You can go down and be like, oh, got it. And it's a refresher. And sometimes it's easy. I mean, duh, you know? Put Jason in the fucking movie. But sometimes it's something tricky that you wouldn't really necessarily think of. And it's like, okay, all right, yeah, that was in the movie, but I didn't really think about that. But yeah, that little one scene punches it up a bunch. Anyway, where are we at? I wish they did the comic adaptation. Okay, where did they do that? Wouldn't be awesome seeing the main characters have a job in the community? Imagine Eugene as a science teacher and Negan. Well, I wouldn't say it'd be awesome, but I think it's necessary towards the end of the series. The dialogue has definitely been better. I think the dialogue's been improving. What do you hate more, Lori from The Walking Dead or Skylar from Breaking Bad? I think Skylar. Eugene's group goes to the Commonwealth. Maggie would stay. Because Lori was fine for me, except for like 2 moments where I was like, bitch, what the fuck? Goes to the Commonwealth. Maggie would stay to fight the Reapers with her new group. Negan leaves with DARYL and group because of his conflict with Maggie. Are you still talking about that what if? I don't know. I mean, I guess the reason why I'm a little just like brushing it off is until we find out what happened to Rick, where he's been, until we get the Rick movies, I don't even want to think about people going to look for him. We already have Michonne going to look for him, and how interesting has that been so far? She's just gone. So no, I don't want anyone else going for Rick. I want to see what the hell Rick's been doing this whole time. And it better not be an Amnesia. If it's Amnesia, I'll walk out of the theater and demand a refund. I shit you not. I will even fucking record it. If they try to pull the Amnesia card on Rick, I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm so done, it's not even funny. That's probably the cheapest, laziest way you can write yourself out of the hole you put yourself in. Do you think zombies set in a town in the mountains would be interesting? Yeah, I also think zombies during a blizzard would be interesting. A town that's blizzarded in, blizzard did it in. You could do something interesting about that as well. Blizzard in the 80s or 90s, zombies, a small town, bam, done. I guarantee it'd be fire. I know you're a big The Wire fan. Poor one. Oh, yeah, Omar from The Wire died in real life. That sucks. What was it? Drug overdose. Did they announce what it was yet? Do you think zombies sent it? YouTube loves conflict. There are 4 verses. That's probably it. I don't watch Marvel Zombies. Somebody told me to check out one of the episodes, though. I might. Ronnie, ever think of talking Sopranos mob movies? Yes and no. Yes, I do want to, but only Flaw vs. All review. We're not only doing horror. I know we're starting in horror, but Joker's not technically horror. Boondock Saints is not horror. We will be doing other stuff that's not horror. In 2022, we most likely, because right now my schedule is already up. We're doing all the Fridays. We're doing Predator 1 and 2. We're doing Halloween, starting it for the Halloween Kills. I'm sorry, Halloween. Did I say that right? So in 2022, we will do a couple every now and then. That's not horror. And Sopranos, the movie might be one, but the TV show, when it comes to the episodes, will be different. When we do Flaw and Off for the TV shows, it'll be the bigger episodes. Mostly we'll do the premiere, And based on how the premiere does, we'll pick the best episodes or the most, the highest, whatever, considered like the greatest episodes. And then we'll just go from there. With The Walking Dead, and specifically, right now the plan is to do all of season 2. It's coming up in 2022 sometime. I'm not in a rush because season 1 did okay, but it didn't, it wasn't like it blew up right away. So we'll get to it, but I think it's important to get some of the movie stuff out, just because this juggling Walking Dead versus movies, you can see it's killing the algorithm, because what YouTube does is it says your audience was clicked on this a lot, but they didn't click on this because, again, the Walking Dead audience don't watch the movie stuff as a whole. So now YouTube is promoting The Walking Dead, but not promoting the movie reviews. So if I'm doing Flaw and All, Walking Dead side by side, we're going to see the same thing, the same rut for 2 years where the movie reviews barely got promoted, but the Walking Dead Flaw and Alls are getting promoted out the ass. So eventually we'll see that, but it's not going to be every episode for Sopranos. And again, with The Walking Dead, we might, if season 2 doesn't do all that well, we might just do the best episodes and just stick with that formula for all TV shows. It was drugs, but it was laced with fentanyl that killed him. Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, fentanyl is that shit, man. Fentanyl will fuck you up. I've never done it. I won't fuck with fentanyl. I won't. I know a lot of people that fuck with that. I know that was, this is going back before my daughter was born. So fentanyl, I know it's more and more popular now, but this is going back 10 years, 11, 12, 13 years now, where it was, I don't know, it was kind of like that. It was talked about, but it wasn't, it wasn't nowhere near like painkillers. Everybody and your uncle was buying, selling, snorting, shooting, not shooting, but chewing, snorting painkillers, Suboxone, whatever. But fentanyl is in that category, but it was a certain, I think it started with people connected with nurses, in all honesty, that I knew of, that knew what it was, talked about it, and then it branched out from there. But that shit will fuck your life up. All you need to watch is Halloween 78 and 18 Before Halloween Kills to be caught up in this timeline. Yes, but we're not just watching them. We're doing the Flaw and All reviews for it. And yes, I already know that. I'm well aware. And I'm not doing all of Halloween. I'm only doing Halloween 78 and 18 for now. Later, we'll do the rest of Halloween. But the idea is, and Halloween Kills is being streamed on the same day it releases, so that gives me hope it's going to come out on Blu-ray quick. See, I can't do Halloween Kills until it's out on Blu-ray, but because it's streaming, that'll give me a good head start. So when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll be able to quickly get it. I just need the case, to be honest. I could probably get a replacement case and then print out my own Halloween Kills like label and use that for the shelf. Because again, that's part of the gimmick. When you review it, you put it on the shelf and it has a handwritten number. I do, now that it's getting bigger, I do want to go and buy little, I don't know, just like some type of little stickers that have like a better look to them. Right now, it's just regular little tabs, white tabs. I write the numbers on it, the score, and I pop it on. We have the same past, near the same age. God bless you then, brother. Thanks for the live stream and for answering questions, Ronnie. Thank you very much, Joe Cool. I appreciate you being here to mod it up. I didn't even do this. Let's do this and let's shut it down. For me, I disliked this episode. I thought it was repetitive, uninteresting. I don't enjoy the religious killers. I don't find it all that interesting. And I'm disliking it. Vote. Show results. Matt and okay. And yeah, what seems to happen is right now I'm not vibing well with The Walking Dead. However, the majority that's still watching always seems to vote, the majority, just above what I pick. So when I like it, they love it. When I'm okay, they like it. When I dislike it, they're and okay. When I hate it, they dislike it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that seems to be the majority, and that's fine. That's a good place to be. So I'm just a little undercritical, or under them at being critical, which I'm more critical of it. And that's me overall when it comes to entertainment. However, this I can see. The meh and okay is sitting at 38%. Let's say 39%. The like it is coming in with a nice chunk at 22, which is close to tie for the love, which is 16. But that's all exactly tied, 16.95, about 17, with dislike. So dislike and love it are almost tied. So that's a good amount. If you look at the like it and love it, you got this nice chunk here. If you look at the meh and okay, it's bigger or as big as the like and love it. Dislike and hate is still a chunk as much as like it. So we got a good bit of diversity in this pie here with it evened out. And you know what? They should look at this instead of being on Talking Dead and, you know, jerking each other off and making excuses for what they've done. They should look at this pie and say, this is why our show isn't doing as good as it could be and as it should be. There was another poll somebody did recently on YouTube, and I even saved a picture of it because I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but this is a perfect example of something that's going on. Like, Disney will make money no matter what. Almost no matter what they put out. They're going to do good as a company overall because they have their hands into so many different things. However, someone put this post out. It's called Filmento, and it was the worst major Hollywood studio. Which one has got to go and have all their IP spread out among others? And I'm not talking about it. It should never be forced, but I'm saying if the world was like to be like better for entertainment, it would be great if this company can go under and just dissolve and split its assets to whoever will buy them or whatever it is. And your options are Disney, Paramount, Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers. And I knew it. As soon as I clicked on it, I knew which one I wanted to click on, and I knew it was going to be in the lead. And sure enough, there it is. Not by a little, by a fuck ton. Disney's in the lead, and that's 30,000 votes. We're not talking about, 200, 300, 400 people. 30,000 people voted, and that's about a 65% believe what Disney makes is garbage compared to what they could be making had it not be Disney. And they should just dissolve Disney and spread the content around. Give Star Wars to someone else or sell it to someone else. Sell Predator and Alien to someone else. And Disney shouldn't look at that and just be like, oh, little haters, I know what they would do. They would call them every name in the book and something's wrong with them. But that's not true. What that post is saying, I believe, factually, is not that Disney is in trouble, in some way. And maybe they are if they don't make a certain amount of money. But that Disney is not making anywhere near the amount of money they could be making had they just knock all their shit off and focus on the story and the content. Because there is something going on with hiring people just for a box to be checked, just for being in the in crowd and for the certain gatekeepers and yada, yada, yada. There is something going on with their with that situation, what you're doing. Before it was like, oh yeah, you're overreacting. You're seeing things where it's not there. Not me, but other people would tell everyone else that every time a movie comes out, you're seeing the. You got the female lead, you got everyone's gay, you got all this. It's all the checklist, the diversity, and then they promote it like fuck toxic masculinity, all the check boxes, and a lot of people are told you're just seeing into it, you're looking into it. But now in 2021, by this time, it's a joke and you could predict it. What was female Indiana Jones. Somebody just made a post, I'm pretty sure it was trolling, about Friday the 13th, and they said, what's the holdup? Why haven't we gotten a female Jason yet? Like, first off, why? And it's gotten to that point in ridiculousness where it went from being a joke and people trying to gaslight others. Oh, you're seeing things. It's not really happening to. People are openly talking about it in the industry on Twitter. Now they're being open about it. We're doing this, we're doing that, and this is why we want to do that. Fuck everyone else. Everyone's suddenly a monster. If you look at it and you think, well, that's not good for storytelling. And again, it's not inclusion's not good for storytelling. It's forcing only one type of inclusion is good because it's fucking boring. If every character is the same, the soulful saint black woman in every fucking movie you do because you don't know how else to write black women, that becomes dull and boring, and you're never going to make a legendary character for a black actor to play if that's all you're doing. You're going to give them shit, You could call me a grumpy critic, but I guarantee if you make something I love, you'll be rich as fuck. When I love it, it's fire. Train to Busan was like barely being talked about. When I watched that, somebody was like, zombie movie, Train to Busan. Or maybe you guys even said, yo, you got to watch that. I forget which one it was, but I watched it, and fuck, I went right to the internet, bro. And I didn't have anything to do with it, being known. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, the second when Ronnie likes something, bro, 9 times out of 10, because I do have a picky taste. I don't overlook small things because it pulls me out of the show. Now I can sit back and love Dumb and Dumber, watch it. Boondock Saints has a ton of technical flaws. If it has a charm to it, I'm fine with looking over the flaws. Like I said with Train to Busan, when it came out and when I was like, bro, this is the shit, that movie blew up. Everyone loved it. I just have a more picky taste in movies. So if you can get me to like it, you're hitting. You're hitting for something. Or you did your job right. Yeah, I forget if it was Train to Busan or the other one. I'm thinking of the other one where people told me, what was that? That one movie people said you got to go watch. You may have been asked already, but it's been bugging me all season. What the hell's going on with Oceanside is done. Yes, they could have gone there for food, but the writers think we're stupid, and we don't bring it up. Because the Oceanside community itself, I believe, like where they were living is gone, and not even totally gone. I forget what it was. What was it now? Something happened, and they couldn't live there anymore, so... Fuck, what was it? I thought it was the war with the saviors. They came to help them out. I don't know. But yeah, they should be going there. At least Walking Dead right now is better than season 4 and 5 of Fear and 7 and 8 of the main show. I mean, that's fine. But it's still not that interesting. Better now than 4 or 5 of Fear and season 7 and 8. Yeah, it could be, but I mean, I don't know. Thank you very much, Soft Batch. Excuse me. No pressure on that thing. Wait. Oh, your name's Low Pressure. Yeah, that's right. One thing people always forget to say about the gay characters, lesbians, they use, propaganda. Once they bring the audience in, they immediately kill them off. But I'll let the straights complain. Say about gay characters, lesbians, they use for propaganda once they bring them in. Well, yeah, that's another thing they got. Tropes, which that one's one it gets, it's a little hit or miss when it comes to that, because when you have a gay character that gets brought in and then killed off, it's like, okay. But when you have a gay character that's on there a while and then killed off, it's like, well, it's just like the straight ones. You're on there a little while, whatever, you die, especially when it comes to shows. And that's where it gets, where I think I'm less concerned about calling it a problem, because when it's insanely obvious, fine. You know what? You call it a problem. But where we're running into the problem, Batwoman is a perfect example. The woman thinks that, the woman running it, showrunner, she thinks anytime you kill a gay character is unacceptable because of the barrier gays. So, okay, some shows brought in a gay character to check the box, and then they were like, I don't fucking want this character, so they just killed them off. Movies have done it too. Oh, we got a gay character. We're progressive. And they just killed them off. And that is a trope to a degree. And it's twisted to where anytime they die, jeez, I'm losing my voice. Anytime they die, it's a trope. That's all that all that recording tore up my throat. Anytime they die, it's a trope now. However, that stops you now from killing a gay character off. And exactly what happened with Batwoman. Oh, we're not going to bury the gays. When you should have. Because the actress is gone. There's nothing you could do. She wants to leave. And they did this really stupid line where she got brainwashed. They cut her face off. And then they put someone else's face on her, which immediately changed her fucking height, her body shape, size, and look. It's like... And then now Batwoman is back, technically. So they didn't kill off a gay character, but they no longer need the old actress. And Batwoman's voice has changed, her height is changed, her face, you know what I mean? Like, they did the Face Off, which I love that fucking movie, but it is ridiculous, cheesy and ridiculous. But they did a Face Off on Batwoman. And all because, I don't know what it is. It's an attachment to something emotional with a blend of ego that is irrational. To sit there, to go on to Catwoman, there's only one rational, logical thing to do. The actor is done. Kill her off. It's over, But because this person has this irrational emotional attachment to killing off gays, it's now no longer accepted under any circumstance. So they come up with this ridiculous, I'm sorry, but that is, you belong in the fucking loony bin. If you think like that's good entertainment. For like cheese and for whatever, you could do anything. I don't care what it is. Face Off is fucking ridiculous. But at the same strength, if someone was like, is Face Off, how is that as far as, being a good movie? No, it's fucking insane. It is insane. They take his skin off, they put him on, and his body changes into the other actor. It's fucking noticeable, ridiculous as hell. But it's so cool, it's done so cool, and it's fun. So that's it. I'm going. I scratched my throat when I yelled, and I'm done. I was losing my voice when I did all that recording for The Flaw and All recently. And ever since I yelled the other day, and I was like, oh, man, I'm not sick, though. We just had COVID testing, so I'm good. But maybe I will get checked out. I literally just got tested Friday. Got results tested in my results on Friday. The Walking Dead is always in the forest. It's always nice when you get a different atmosphere. Don't you absolutely love the way the snow episode looked in season 9? Yeah, I love when they change the atmosphere because the whole woods stuff is dumb. Anyone remember, or beat to death by now, when Beth died, feminists apparently wrote angry letters to show claiming they killed her to develop a main character, DARYL, further. Yeah, the feminists came out like crazy. Not just that, but just anyone who's on this new look at me internet thing. And that's happening more and more. It's like, it's a weird way to show like, I don't know, like some sort of, to get attention, to show some type of power or pull by telling others what to do. The internet is so weird when it comes to this thirst to control others and then scream that other people are trying to control them. Like that's all you hear about is how you got all the bad people out there. I won't deal with labels because both sides say it pretty much, but everyone's a bad person and they're trying to control you and they're all terrible and blah, blah, blah. At the same time, they're so bloodthirsty and thirsty of controlling what you do. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't watch that. Don't like that. Like when it comes to, they're like the MPAA on steroids of back in the day, butchering your horror movies. These people are like, you're not allowed to say that word even when it's a bad guy. You can't have this anymore. You can't have that anymore. It's like, oh my God, bro, give me a break. You're going to make it worse. One day it's going to be enough. Somebody's going to snap and they're going to make the most offensive movie you've ever fucking seen. And people are going to devour it. And it's going to shatter everything that's been going on right now, because when you push someone to a certain point, there's a breaking point where there's like, you know what, enough is enough. And we see that all throughout history and society, and especially with even recently with entertainment. We saw what happened with even rock and roll when it came to just music itself. Anyhow, that will happen. You'll hit a ridiculous, and you know what? This is why it will shatter, and then I'll shut this down and I'll get going. This is what will happen when you put so many restrictions on what you can and can't do within entertainment. Somebody's finally going to snap and say, screw this, I can't, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do that, and it's going to explode, because now it's something that has been shut down, and it hasn't been put into anything else. It's got a refreshing take. It's different. It's new. It's yada, yada, yada. It's going to make so much money. It's going to become so popular and so loved and like a cult hit, even if it's hated in the mainstream and the controlled critics, because that's what they are now. Most people, I should say, don't trust critics. We know they're controlled. We know they're full of shit. We know and it's not just by one. It's not like an evil empire. It's multiple different avenues control what they say to a certain extent, whether it's their job placement or where they're at, location they're at, the type of connections they make within anyhow. So we know, especially politically. Political affiliations, we absolutely know. Same political affiliations get more lenient reviews when it comes to blah, blah, blah. The alternate affiliations get its gloves off. I mean, this is just our world now in 2021. So when that hits and blows up, it's going to make that money get popular. And then you're going to see somebody else come out and be like, we want a piece of that pie. Fuck all this. We've been PC for a decade, 20 years now. And I'm talking about in the future. We done it to death so much. Life is stale and fucking boring as shit. I look back at the 2010s, and I'm talking about like people in the future, and I think you could go on the internet and say whatever the fuck you want. You can call someone yada 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 yada, and just you didn't have to worry about being canceled, because again, it's not that big of a crime. I mean, you want to cancel people from their jobs, make damn sure they actually committed a fucking crime. I don't care if they offended you. Slap them on the wrist, say, listen, bro, it's a bit much. Can you calm it down? But we got to stop canceling people for the same crime. You could take someone that abused a child, right now a celebrity, and then the same celebrity that says a certain word or says something in a context that is now in the naughty box, and that person will get the same punishment in the court of public opinion as an actual crime that hurt somebody. A disgusting, filthy crime. The same thing will happen to that person. You said the wrong word or done this, this, and this. You can no longer work for like a year or 2, 3 years. You committed actual crime. Well, you same thing. It's like that doesn't track at all. I'm not shit anymore if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not shit anymore if you know what I'm talking about. What do you think of replace the internet in the future, or the internet will evolve into? Well, I don't think it'll replace the internet how you're thinking. I mean, I do have to go, though. It is getting late, and she just peeked her head in the door. It's way too late for her to be up. Let me get going. We're going to have to save that conversation for another day, because I do believe there's going to be a different type of internet, but I don't necessarily think of it in that way. I think that wordage, that lingo, could be not correct. So we'll get into that another time. But it is, I do think, I was even thinking about this today. It will change and be different in a way that people aren't understanding. It's so strange to put in words when you're in current day, but when people look back at the internet, it'll be similar to when you look back now at when, for example, when they were first starting to do Hollywood in Hollywood, first starting to make movies, and they were first doing all this. When you look back at how primitive it was and yada, 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 I think you're going to see a similar aspect to the internet in the future. When you look back from 2050 on, 2060, 70 on, you're going to look back in that time and see it as primitive. Today, we see it as like cutting edge technology, but by then we're going to be able to look back and view it as not as cutting edge because we'll have something else, but they'll also have it locked down. Corporations will come in. I think it's going to be much harder for normal people. I think most people will be doing these different apps and doing their own personal yada, yada, yada. And it's getting to the point where more and more people are realizing it's just absolutely fake. 90% of what you see is totally fake. Go to my Twitter. I shared it. Perfect example of this. Mother with her son, their dog got sick or was dying or something, and she's like, come here, crying to the camera, go like this, and the kid's like, I am crying. She stopped a moment of tragedy in a child's life, her own child's life, to get a good crying sad thumbnail for her video, because in her mind everything they do is money. Everything, oh, the dog died, instead of having a normal reaction and being like, oof, I got to take care of the kid and mentally and yada, yada, yada. Her thing is like, that's money. Everything now, that's money. So we're going to there's a lot more to get into, but I got to go. I got to really go. I love you guys. Thank you very much for the support. Stay safe and stay tuned for Flaw vs. All review, Friday the 13th, part 5. I'm just started working on it. Go watch part 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guarantee you'll love them. I'll see you back here next week for the next episode of The Walking Dead. Goodbye.